Hi, it's Donna Mulholland, and I said earlier that I was going to try doing an Instagram live and do some painting. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it on Instagram live is because I actually haven't painted for, probably about 3 weeks. I think I did the July collection, the summer garden collection, and then since then I've been busy with family matters. And I'd also done a 60-day challenge from June 1st to the end of July as well. So it was time for a little break. So what I've done is I've found, I guess this is better, I found this old clay piece. It wasn't finished. It was just playing with patterns and stuff on a piece of 300-pound watercolor paper. And I thought I'd pull that out and play. And it's also kind of my baptism for my wall. I've always wanted to have, be able to paint on the wall. And I'll get some nails too so I can put canvases on here, and I'm gonna love that even better than my easel. I'm always tripping on the feet of my easel. In my big studio I had wall space, but because it wasn't my own space I didn't want to wreck the walls, even though I suppose I could have painted them over. But anyway, this is much better and I'm very happy. So what I thought I would do, since it can be kind of scary when you've been away from painting for a little bit, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some black and white on this to start. And let me just check. I see some comments here. Oh, hi. I see people. Hi. So again, this is a play acrylic piece, 300-pound water paper, and I'm just going to cover over it. I am kind of interested in, I have kind of a flowy style, which I like, but I'd like to be maybe more of a mark maker, which I think is what this was. It wasn't a painting, it was just playing, making marks. And to take the pressure off and to give myself permission to just get going, I'm also just going to focus on really just doing whatever happens. So this is kind of a ritual, I suppose, of how to have fun when you're just getting back into painting. I don't have an intention for this piece. I don't have a series in mind at this point. I just want to get my hands and my brushes in paint. So here we go. So I can't see your comments without my glasses on, and I don't usually paint without my glasses on. I just want to cover some of this up, and I can tell already that I might not last long just with my black and white, but I'm going to try. And see, the fun part here is I can get some on the wall. What a thrill. So this is actually white gesso that I'm using. And I'm just going to paint away. I'm not going to answer questions or look at comments. I just want to really get into this. I think you might be able to hear my dryer. I maybe should have turned that off, but there you go. So there's some white. That was a Liquitex white gesso. And I have some Nova Payne's Gray. I'm going to put some of that on. Making shapes. I don't use neutrals much, but if there was a neutral that I liked, it would probably be gray. Okay, I think that's enough of a no color for me. I'm gonna find some more color. I'm feeling, maybe let's use some things I haven't used for a while. I'm gonna use some magenta some Quinn Magenta. And just thinking about making marks. I'm not thinking about the elements of design. I'm not thinking about a focal point. I'm not doing anything. I'm just reacquainting myself with how good it feels to make marks. Add some white to that magenta. What shape do I feel like today? It's interesting. I used to paint a lot and have lots of circles. And then I went through a square phase. And I've kind of been thinking about stripes lately, so maybe I'll do some stripes. I think that's probably enough of that color. Just making marks. Just trying to cover up what's there, really. I think I'd like to get some turquoise and some orange on here. Yeah, I really do like painting on the wall here. This is great. So nice and vertical. So yeah, I want some orange and what did I say? Oh, turquoise. And turquoise, so I'll get that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I haven't used this for a while. I'll use a golden turquoise. How about that? I think I can get it open easier. There we go. I haven't used that in ages. I used to use it a lot. The golden turquoise phthalo. So what do you do when you haven't painted for a while and you just need to get over that fear of white canvas, or you're not quite sure, you don't think you have any great ideas? What do you do? It depends for me. It depends what's going on. Sometimes you really need to have a break. Sometimes that's and then there's other times when you really need to push. So it gets a little confusing sometimes. This is what my palette looks like. I just use old plastic plates. I have fancy ones, but I'm not fancy. I want more of a green. I want more of an apple green. I'm going to add some Indian yellow to that. Getting better. That looks better. I love this color. Especially with the magenta. I had a pair of running shoes that were purple. Purple and sort of magenta at one point, and I wish I could find a pair like that again. But so this may turn into something, or it may not. But right now, it's just shapes, an expression of how good it feels to make a mess when you haven't for a while. What does it need? It needs that blue. Let's see. Mix up some turquoise. Ooh, I got some. That's pretty. Let's just. Ooh. Yummy. Probably going better than with a brush. Yeah, it's fun to, in this space, I have to learn where I want things. This isn't bad. I've got my cart, you can't see it, but my cart's on my right. And I've got some paint there on my cart, but my paint selection is actually to my left. So I just have to walk behind the camera. I'm not thinking of a palette for this one. I'm working in series. I usually start out with an intention or a palette or something. I've come across something, an idea, or maybe it's sort of a riff on something I've done before. I want to take a little further, and then I usually have kind of a palette I want to use, although to be honest, I tend to use kind of a restricted palette to begin with. And I think that, I've said this before, you probably heard it if you've watched me paint, but it comes from, because I started painting in watercolor and before I did acrylics, and those teachers were very much into knowing your colors, mixing your colors. And for me that carried over into acrylic. And you can't tell from this piece, but from other pieces, if you look at my website or whatever, or my Instagram stream, you'll see that my palette is fairly consistent. Sometimes I switch out things like, sometimes I go more pink, sometimes I go more red. I've been pink lately. It's fun to see purple on here because I don't usually use a lot of purple. Don't know why. It's a lovely color. Just one of those things. And it's fun to hold your brush really loosely with your lines so you don't get anything contrived. I think I kind of like an orangey color maybe. I usually use big brushes, but I'm using all sizes here. So if I had any intention at all, it was to add black and white to this piece, and I don't think I really stuck with that very well, did I? But there is some there. But I like adding black and white because they're what give your painting contrast. When you're just using colors right out of the tube, they can sort of look like a box of Crayolas, which isn't necessarily bad. Goodness knows my work is very bright. I can't lie about that, can I? One of the other reasons I like working with a limited palette is that I know kind of how the colors are going to react to each other. So when I stick with, you know, the primary colors and mix my own colors, it makes for kind of a cohesive painting, and I don't get as much mud as I might if I was just taking from every tube in my paint kit. I still need another light bulb. I had to turn one off because it wasn't a good light bulb. Maybe just a little bit more white and black, and then I think I will be good. There we go. I haven't used this for ages. I used to use this little sponge thing. I just love it. It used to be in there used to be some marks of it in almost all of my paintings. I haven't used it for a while, but I do love it still. Maybe a little bit more black, maybe. More white. No, actually, I think I'm gonna let that dry for now. Thank you, everybody who's here. It's great to see you. I think I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'll come back later this evening or tomorrow morning. Probably later this evening because this will be dry in probably 20 minutes. I'll come back and do something else to it. Who knows where it will go. The main thing is it's fun and it's a great release. So thank you very much for watching, and I will be back later.